Hi, this is Cynthia. I haven't made a video in a while. I'm not very good at it. I'm going to try to get better at it. But my message today, what I want to talk about, and I hope you don't mind that I'm driving, is what I dealt with, and I know that a lot of other people have dealt with or dealing with, and that's the fact that you have family members who are Freemasons, Mormons, some level of secret society, and how that is affecting you and how it's affected you in the past. And I'm just going to do free form. I'm going to try to go fast, and I hope I don't blub up too much. Anyway, I finally found what I was looking for the other day regarding my baptism by a Freemason pastor back when I was, how old was I? Like 11 or 12 years old. And apparently these people, when they baptize you and their secret society, they put curses on you. And that's what I had suspected, and it was confirmed. Okay, now we're no more bumpy stuff. And that was confirmed. So I have to do some more prayers to get those curses out of my life that Ray Montgomery put on me back in, I think the year was 1969 or 66 maybe even. But I'd like to talk about my friends who, one friend of mine went to his grave. I'll talk about him first. He was straight. He went to his grave never knowing that his family was Illuminati. And he had told me some stories about his family, and that's how I figured it out. Number one, he was molested by his parish priest when he was under 10 years of age. I don't know how old he was, but I know he was under 10. And this was in northern Indiana. This was around the South Bend, Notre Dame area. And let me point out this. I know that Indiana, for a fact, has brushed under the rug all of their pedophile priest problems. None of it ever was made into the media. I just found a couple of court cases about it. In fact, one guy, this is so sad, he had been molested by a priest in Lafayette, Indiana, which is about an hour northwest of Indianapolis. And for whatever reason, the hearing was held in Muncie, Indiana, which is where Ball State University is. It's all Freemasons. You know, mason jars. That's the people that started Ball State. Anyway, whatever kind of little hearing trial they had was held in Muncie, where Ball State is. And the resolution of it was that, I'm sorry, this is his sister. Okay, I'm going to tell the story and then I'll tell you what happened. Was held in Muncie, and what had happened was this boy had been molested by this priest in Lafayette. They had told him that the priest would no longer have access to children. That was a lie. He found out later that the priest had access to children, and I hope the Lord had mercy on his soul, and had molested more children, and he committed suicide because he blamed himself. And the court case I came across was his sister. That's it. His sister had gone after the archdiocese, and, I can't remember the resolution of the case because I found all that information so long ago. I'm talking about like 5 years ago, and but I do remember it was his sister, but I can't remember how it was resolved, and probably it was resolved with no court records on file for me to read anyway, as those things happen, it's all under seal. And let me say this, if you've listened to my Illuminati Indiana, they are throwing out cases in the case file histories right and left. And I have a little video about that called Administrative Rule Number 7. When I started investigating the lawyers involved in my mother's death, and lawyers I knew, blah, 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 whatever, I found out that they were throwing out their court cases, and you can't do that. But they had done this Administrative Rule Number 7. It's not even a law per se, it's a rule, which allows them to get rid of incriminating files against lawyers or judges or whoever. And you go to look up a file and it's just not there any longer. It's been burned or shredded or whatever. Okay, so back to my friend whose family was Illuminati and molested by the priest. So he's molested by the priest, and he went to his mother, and he's crying, he's upset, and he says, Mommy, this priest molested me. And as he told me himself, she ignored it. She didn't want to know about it. He told me she didn't believe him. Well, what I think is, I know she believed him, and I think, and these people that are secret society, they are so cruel, even to their own children. They have no problem throwing their own children under the bus, because they've already sold their soul. And it's not even a lot of times for riches. I don't know, I don't understand their mentality most of the time. Because, not everybody lives like a billionaire that's a member of a secret society, but they've gotten some kind of sick kick out of it, and I do mean sick. You are as sick as your secrets. Never forget that. And you people that are in secret societies, you're as sick as they come. Period. End quote. So anyway, back to my story. She sold him out to the priests, and he also told me later she had been on like a city council. And I can tell you right now, I know for a fact, those city councils, they're all secret society people. And some of the strange things that get pushed through in your community, and you can't figure out why that happened, well, that's why. Because the secret societies are in charge of the city councils. Oh, they may have one or two token non-secret society members on there just to make it look somewhat legit. But the vast majority of them are all secret society. And let me say, that goes for also these, where's my English? Those little business councils that are supposed to help people in the community. I'll come back to it later. They're all secret society as well. Okay, so back to my friend. So anyway, his mother, that was another giveaway. His mother was on the little local city council. But the real giveaway, in addition to the molestation and city council, was he told me when she died, she was able to leave each of her 4 children $100,000. And he said to me, we didn't even know Mom had that much money. Now, that's a real sign of a secret society member, when suddenly they have money that they can't account for. And because it's not like a little city council in Granger, Indiana, which is pretty much on the border of Michigan, there just north of South Bend. And they'd had like some kind of little farm, but it wasn't a farm. It probably wasn't even 5 acres. But anyway, his mother had definitely sold him out, and I'm sure that she was behind, had a lot to do with who his girlfriends were. He did try to kill himself when he was like 35 on a motorcycle, and she was probably in with that. Another way and I'm going to make a separate video about it. Okay, I won't go into it. Okay, now I'm going to, this is for the homosexuals and their secret society family. And sadly for the homosexuals, well, everybody's on a level playing field. When you're sold out by your family, you're sold out. I don't think one's any better or worse than the other. You're under the bus, whether you like it or not. And this is a story about a friend of mine that's gay. And he thinks he's not secret society, but his father most certainly is. His father was a, quote, self-made millionaire by the time he was 30. And his father, I know that he's secret society because his son has told me who his business friends are, the billionaires that his father has hung out with, and they're most definitely secret society. And also being a self-made millionaire by the time you're 30. Pretty much these people get set up in business. So anyway, his mother allegedly committed suicide when he was like 16 years old. Now, he really thinks his mother committed suicide. It's my belief, his father had his mother murdered. And the reason why I say that, back in the 1960s and 50s, back then it was very hard to get divorced, and you had to name a party like somebody was cheating on you or something like that. You just didn't automatically pay $500 and get a divorce and split your assets. It was much tougher. And he and his sister came home from high school. I think he was like a sophomore and his sister was a senior, and found their mother dead in the garage. Allegedly, she had asphyxiated herself in the car. Now, and so he believes that she committed suicide. I think his father killed her for several reasons. The main one being, he didn't want to split the assets. He was already a multimillionaire. He didn't want to give her half of everything he owned. I also need to say that this individual, she had a baby late in life. Well, she had started having children when she was like 18. And but she had a son that wasn't even 2 years old yet. And no Christian woman is going to commit suicide when they have a baby. I'm sorry, and I'm surprised he and his sister bought into his father's story. But when you're young like that, you don't want to go against your own father and accuse your father of murdering your mother, especially if your father had never been abusive to her and you didn't have really anything to back that up except maybe a feeling, which they swept under the rug. So anyway, and also back in 2003, he was showing me pictures, and he showed me a picture of his mother, and she was beautiful. I mean, she was just lovely. She just looked like Mary Tyler Moore from the Dick Van Dyke Show. Everybody's beautiful brunette mother. And and his father had been having an affair. That was allegedly the reason his mother committed suicide, was his dad was having an affair. And I said, "Oh, your mother was so gorgeous." And I had seen pictures of his stepmother, and believe me, she was nothing to kill yourself over. And but always the story had been, she was so distraught, his dad having an affair. And but the fact that she was Christian, she didn't kill herself. And also, his parents were having problems because his mother was a Baptist, and apparently a very strict Baptist. And his father wanted to be in the social whirlwind of it all, and and do the country club stuff and the golf stuff. And his mother wasn't interested in that. And that's his reason why he said his dad was having an affair. He said, well, my mother wasn't interested in worldly things, and, she was just a simple Christian woman. And it's so sad that he, even at this late date, he hasn't figured it out. Okay, so to go further into the story, he even told me one time, because we used to sit around and drink and smoke and do all that stuff and, tell our life stories. And one time he told me how he became gay. And he said that he had gone on a camping trip when he was like 18, I think it was, like 18. And one of the boys on the camping trip raped him. And he said, I was straight all through high school, but boy, the moment he got raped, whatever demon, that Kundalini demon or whatever that kid put onto him or into him, when he raped him, it was strong, because he said after that he really had no desire of women. Now, where it really gets strange is, after this, and we're talking like this is the late 70s, he starts going to the gay bar scene in the city where he lives, and he meets this guy, and they become lovers. And I'm going to tell you how I know, but I know he doesn't realize, and now these guys have been together, oh my goodness, 35 years? Maybe longer? He doesn't know that his own secret society father set up his lover for him. He has no idea whatsoever that his entire life has been arranged. And if you watched my testimony video with Rob Rennie, I found out that every guy I had ever dated, was a secret society member. And this friend of mine doesn't realize it, but yes, his lover of 35 years was arranged for him. And it's so sad on so many levels, but he's going to go to hell because his father, I believe, arranged for him, killed his mother, arranged for him to be raped, arranged for him to meet this guy, has affected his career. And that's another way you always know that these people are secret society. They've always got really good jobs. I always had to find jobs through either the temp agencies or out of the paper or whatever, but they always have connections. And that's one of the keys. They've always got connections, and they always have really nice apartments and stuff, because they're too, the secret society, they own so much property and houses and apartment buildings that they take care of their own. Oh, you need an apartment? I've got a fabulous apartment, blah, blah, blah. So I know also that the majority of homosexuals come from secret society families. And then a lot of them were groomed by their parents, and I think their parents, somehow Satan gave them some kind of brownie points to turn their children out as homosexuals. And you think it's a good thing, and my parents approve, well, yeah, sure, they've sold you out. You're going to hell, they're going to hell. Misery loves company, and you think they love you and have your best interest at heart and want you to be accepted and don't want you to be extreme. Did I do something wrong? Did I just blow through a red light? No, I didn't. Sorry. But yeah, you think your parents love you and they want only the best for you, and sadly that's not true. And in the Bible it says that the families here, especially here in the end times, they will be against each other. And it's my belief that that is because, as I found out in my own family, so many people within your own family are secret society members. There's so few Christians left today. So my message is for really everybody. Take a good, long, hard look at your family. If you always wondered what was the cause of your dysfunction, you might start to have new insight into that. Look at who you dated, who you married, why you married them, what's your relationship with them like today. I'll just go real quickly here, because I know this is 20 minutes already. Well, no, I'll do that in a separate video. So anyway, that's just my message. Sadly, and it says in the Bible, trust only God. You can't trust man. You can't trust your own family. Just put all your faith in the Lord. And go to Him about your relationships. Should I be with this person? Should I marry this person? The Lord will speak to you in His still small voice. And the key is to recognize that small voice And I've discounted it before thinking, oh gosh, that's my own wishful thinking. But no, just pray, keep it simple, he'll speak to you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.